Hi everybody! Today I thought I'd make a Halloween tag since we're so close to, well, so close. We still have a month to go or so, but it's about that time. I'm going to make them and start them I'm going to make my own with these file folders that I got last week. I had a whole box of them actually. Probably, I say a whole box, probably about 50 or maybe 100, I don't know, the box so much thick. I didn't count them, at a clearance place for $2.50. How can I go wrong? So I purchased them, and I've already done a few projects with them because I find they're so handy. So I'm going to make my own tags that'll end up looking like this. And the thing is, I am going to cut them at 6.5, and I'll keep the other piece to make a shorter tag. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I will just, how about if I cut them right in half? What would that do, I wonder? So if I cut them at 3, I think I'll have to change my blade again. Like so. And this here, if I cut it at 6, so it should be giving me 2 about the same. Yeah, that works. Okay, so now that we've done this, the way I do my corners, I do have a die for these, obviously. But the way I normally cut it is I put both ends together like so, as you can tell. And then to even it out, I just do this, and I end up having same cuts on both sides. It's a little trick. I don't know if it's been invented by somebody else, but I have been doing it forever this way, way before I had, because I've only had dies for my, to make tags probably in the last few years. I've always made my own tags this way. And always, it just, to me, it goes so fast. So you don't have to use this file folder. You can use any cardstock that you have. For Halloween, black would be pretty, you know, all kinds of different things. But yeah, so that's basically how I do my tags. And from here, I'll just take my hole punch, good old hole punch, and I punch the center like this. It's about as easy as that. And normally approximately where I fold it. Now if you want a clean tag, this is not, you're going to see a little bit of fold on it, but crunched paper, but to me it doesn't matter. And then from here, if you wanted to, you can add what do you call them again? Those little circles to protect your cardstock not from ripping. But at this particular point, I'm going to leave it as is, and I am going to work with what I have. If you check out Graphics Fairy, graphicsfairy.com, I believe it is, you will see they have different free printables. I'm not sure if this one's free printables, but it's I'm a premium member. I've been for a few years. I love them, love them, and they always have something really neat to come out with. So I'm going to use a couple of these in order to make. I've cut them out. I printed it out on a sheet of 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to make a few of those. Now I'm going to take black soot, which I should have here, pretty handy. And I am going to make my tags look old and Halloweeny, if you want to call it that. So there's my good old soot. Let me see if I can find I need to have a fresh sponge, which I know I have tons of. Bear with me for a second here. There you go. There's my sponge right here. And I am going to take this and age this. I always have old paper handy for that particular purpose, because, you know, it just saves me extra work to clean up my mat here. Although it's getting pretty ratty, I'll tell you. Now, we're going to do two different types. So I'm just going to age this like this. Add to a bit of cup because, so this is Tim Holt, by the way, Tim Holt Distress. And the mini pads. I prefer the mini pads, although I have probably a dozen of the other pads before the little ones came out. Then I stopped buying them because I found that for me, the mini pads did exactly what I wanted without wasting $10, $12 or whatever, $8, $10 for the other ones. I don't even know how much they are now. Probably would say $8 or something, $8. But anyway, it depends where you buy them, I suppose. So I've done both sides. Now, I personally always, I am going to edge the pieces. And to edge the pieces, you can do it with your scissors. Or you can do it with a little gadget like this. That is Tim Holtz. Or you could do it also with a thread cutter. You could do it with your scissors, you know, edge it with your scissors, the same thing. I have had this for a bit now. I'm a gadget type of person. I have no idea. I buy gadgets before I buy paper, because paper I know I can always, you know, find something around here. I say that, but I don't buy everything. I like my tools. I'm like a carpenter. When I look for a hammer, I want my hammer. I don't want one that I'm going to knock in the head of the, it's going to come off. So now that I've aged this, and I'm going to crush it up a little bit because that's what I personally like. And I'm just going to pass some more black soot on this, like this, because I want it to be really spooky looking, I guess, if you want to call it that. And then I'm going to, do I want the bat or do I want, I think I'm going to take the crow. I'm going to take the crow and I'm going to add it there, but before I do, I'm going to, this one here is a little easier. I did print it on paper instead of cardstock, so it's a little bit more dainty to work with. In other words, it could even probably rip, but I'm going to give the edge a little bit of a snug. I'm doing this as I'm going along here, nothing particularly planned more than that. I was going to do this last night and got into a movie actually with my husband. And so much for that. But it's getting late anyway. So now I'm going to adhere this to this. But before I do that, I want to add something spooky on this. So I purchased some netting at the dollar store because I had ran out of the black one. I had some black one, but I do believe I must have used it for something because I couldn't find it. So for $1.50 or $2 or whatever it was, what the heck, buy some more. So I've got a little piece out here. I thought maybe I would edge it up. I also have something like this. It looks like chicken wire. This one here I purchased on one of my U.S. trips at Hobby Lobby, but I do believe they have them at Michael's also. It's just, I had no idea what I was going to do with it, but they make ribbons with it. I find it's a little too industrial for me, but figured I'd use it for something. So now I'm going to take out my good old Fabri-Tac and do you guys think? I'm going to take out my Fabri-Tac here, a good old Fabri-Tac, and we're going to, I think I'd like to have it kind of run around here. If ever your nib breaks on your Fabri-Tac, I bought another bottle, but my nib broke right off. This is a brand new bottle. What I did is I had another bottle like this that I put my white glue all in it, and it fits perfectly on that, and it works. It works, it works, it works, because first of all, the cover has a little, just a little, see the center there? And I don't know what you call it, but it pulls out and it seals it when I close it. So it keeps it from getting hard. I like that, because I didn't know what I was going to do. And, you know, I like my Fabri-Tac, but I was very disappointed in the, now it might be just a, like they call it a fluke, because I haven't had any problems with that one, but I'm new at Fabri-Tac. I haven't used Fabri-Tac for years. I just started using it again in the last, I don't know, a couple of months maybe. You know, I saw people were using it a lot, so I thought, oh, I got to get back at it. I used to use it when I used to sew, or something similar to that, I should say. But anyway, it really does well, and it doesn't smell as much as, it has a bit of a scent to it, but not as much as a 6000 or whatever it's called, or the other one. I'm just going to add a bit of black to this gray. Now, as you can tell, I've obviously cut with not paying attention, so I will have some odd pieces, but I'm okay with that. I will eventually glue it all down. Now I'm going to add this on top of this, and I still got to use my glue wall, because, not my glue wall, but my Fabri-Tac, because I'm going to, most of it's going to go on fabric, and since it's going to go on fabric, I might as well use it for everything. So there you go. There's my little picture here. I'm going to just bring it down to the tab. I like the fact that it's rolling around a bit to the edge here. I like that. I really do like that. I find it kind of gives it, yep, I like that a lot actually. So we're going to go from there. Now what else would we use on this if we were going to use it? Let's use a little bit of, E6000 is what I was mentioning about. That is not as scented as, is more scented than this. I'm going to use my glossy accent. But I have some here with a crack, with a crackle accent. It's the same as the other, the accent, crystal effect or whatever, but this one here cracks. So I think it's going to be perfect for this. And I'm going to do the whole bird. And as you can tell, it applies really, really quick. Or I should say fairly quick. I like glossy accents. That is something I use a lot for dimensions and so forth. I just find that it gives it a little bit of lift. The thing that I don't have is sometimes a lot of patience to wait till it dries. So knowing that, I tend to use it often, but when I have something else in mind that I'm going to work with. Alright, so I'm going to use this one here for this. This is just a plain old crackly one. And how about if I use, I do believe I have one, I have a Mod Podge here, but it has glitter in it, which is like a dimensional, the same thing. So I'm just mixing it up so I can get those glitter, and I'm going to do the oh my goodness, that was not meant to be. Let me grab something here. And I think I'm going to try to revive this. I'm going to use my spatula from my cry cut here and try to save some of this and add it to my skull. I'm just going to pick it up. Yep, this is going to work. Well, at least I got the right amount out because I'm using every little speck of it. There you go, guys. The face is going to be glittery, and the rest is going to be crackled. Yeah. Do I have enough on there? I'm going to add a little bit more of that crackle accent on the bird right here. Oops. Don't want bubbles. Don't want bubbles. There. I like that better. Yep, I like that much better. So this works for this. And what else could we do to this that would enhance it? I know I have some ribbon, which I'm going to take. Ribbon. I have black ribbon, which is something that I can definitely add to it. I added the other way too, but this works. Yep. That works perfectly. So, having a plain one, I'd like to see a little bit of something on here, but I'm not quite sure what I have that would accommodate that in the black. Let me see what I have here. Black is not a color that I use a whole lot of. Oh, wait now. I have had some black pearls, black kind of sequins from a swap. So I'm going to use some of these in here and there. And maybe up here. Like this. What do you think? It's a little bit of bling, huh? Because it does something kind of cool. So I'm going to do this. This. Should I have something there, or is that going to be a killer? Let's see if I can maybe add just a few more. I might have to add some glue to this behind it. And add a few small ones in between. And that should do the trick. There. That's better. Much better. Much better. There, a little bit of glue. And I'll grab my little pick-me-upper. I could have picked up this with a tweezer too. My fingers are big, that's why I have a bit of a hard time sometimes to add them on. The other ones have attached. If not, I will do the same thing. So I have this, and I think I'm going to take a little bit of Wink of Stella. It's just a plain Wink of Stella. You guys are going to think, what is she doing? She's taking everything apart. Yep, that's me. Everything comes apart. And I'm just going to add some glitter. Now it's going to react with Tim Holtz because it's water-based. But you know what? I kind of like that look. I really kind of like that look. It's a happy accident, guys. Wasn't thinking. Makes sense. This is how quick you can make a tag for Halloween. So if I can make it that quick for Halloween, you can make it that quick yourself too, and you can also make it for other seasons also. So we're going to say, for now, that this one here is all done. And we're going to let it dry, and I want to show you how to make another one. So we'll grab another one of our dies here, and I want to grab on this part, I want to grab some silver foil. Let me see here. We do have silver foil here. And these came in the pack from the dollar store. And it wasn't expensive. I forget what it was, a couple of dollars I think for so many pages. I've had it for a while now. All for me, you might have a quicker way to think about this, but all I'm going to do at this point is, there's my good old pencil, as I'm going to draw a pencil line around my tag, like this. So now I know the size of my tag. And I'm going to take my good old scissors, dollar store scissors. You're going to think I live there, but I don't. It's just that I have one. I live in a small town, and the dollar store is one of the little features that we have. And once in a while, they'll get something in. When I saw these, I bought 2 pairs. I thought, oh, this is going to be really nice. So anyhow, because on paper it's hard to keep good scissors. It's really, really hard. So now that this is all done, I am going to glue this onto this. I'm not going to use my Fabri-Tac for that. Matter of fact, for this, I'm just going to use my good old 2-way tape. And I'm just going to make sure my sides are tight. In other words, when I say my sides are tight, is that my tag is all adhere. Oops. There you go. She should be good. And I'm going to start from the bottom, like this. Now, I'm not a big Halloween person. That's why I don't have a lot of Halloween decor. My kids are big and they've grown out, so I just don't have the way I used to when the kids were small. Right now, all I'm doing is I'm trimming the white cardstock. I don't have to, but I just like it clean. And yeah, so I don't have a lot. I find, I don't know, I just don't. Now my neighbor across the street, my goodness, they have no children. I don't know if they've ever had any, to my knowledge, but they have a double attached garage. Oh my goodness. They have their garage all sectioned out like a maze, and they're all dressed up, and the kids go there and they go through one of the doors in the garage and comes out the other door on the other side. And it's all spooky. It's so fun to watch the kids. Some of them are petrified. petrified. Okay, so while this one dries, we're going to work on this one. Now, you can use any type of padded ink, water ink. I'm going to use just my regular black soot from Tim Holtz, and I'm not sponging it. All I'm doing is I'm going to add some swoosh like that. This is what I'm looking at. Can you see? And to do that, all you do is you lightly come back on your sponge pad like that. And what you want to create is a texture looking. And you want to make it look like an old haunted house, right? Can you see what I'm doing? It is that simple. And now we'll use the other one, which is a bat. How cool is that? Now, before I add this onto this, I'm going to take my stylus. Now, when I say a stylus, I mean where you have your scoreboard. This is called the stylus. So it really doesn't matter what you have, as long as it's a type of stylus. If you have a piece of foam, it can be a piece of children's foam like this. That's fine too. Just add it underneath to give it a little bit of sponge. And on the tin foil, or on the, which is another thing you could use, is tin foil, you can just do some embossing of your choice. You can do some spider webs, you can do anything at all. You could even put it in the embosser if you wanted, but I'm more or less making it for someone who doesn't have a whole lot of tools, but likes the effect of a bit of embossing. This is one way to make it, and it's really, as you can tell, there's, you know, it makes a nice embossing all over it. And you can kind of make your own markings to make it Halloweenish, or you could write words on like boo and all kinds of good stuff, and it'll work really, really well. Now I'm going to take some black cardstock because I find that this on this doesn't bring it out. So I'm going to cut myself a piece of cardstock, and this is 3 inches. I'm going to cut it probably 2 inches. Is this 2 inches? Yeah, this is 2 inches. So maybe I'll go 2.5 inches. Like this. Well, it would help if I would have cut it really well. You ever notice, whenever I'm doing a video, this is when the stuff either doesn't cut, or I know why it's not cutting right now. It's because this one here, if it's not level, it won't cut. So I can fix that. I can either move everything off my table or just finish it off with scissors. There you go. Now I have this piece, which is going to sit on top of this, and I want it to look see what happened? There you go. That's great. That's good. And oops, I didn't mean to drop that and make so much noise, guys. I realized after I listened to the video that sometimes I make too much noise. I'm a little noisy on my you know what I'm saying, on my table. So all I'm doing here, guys, is I'm squishing it up like I would a piece of paper. And the reason I'm doing this is I want it to have crease. So now I'm going to lightly just do some sponging around. And I'm okay with that. And I'm going to adhere it down here. but I don't want it here. It tight. What I mean by tight, I don't want it added. I don't want to add it that it's flat down. Defeats the purpose of me, I guess, crunching it all up. And I don't. That's not what I want. So there, my friends, is what I was looking for. And I don't know if you can see this from the camera, but I'm going to try to show you. See all the lines? This is what it does. I like it. I like that look. I like that effect. And I like the way, it's tattered. I like that idea. And if I'm not pleased with it, just as so, I can just kind of add some ripples to it if I wanted to. I can actually take a piece off if I wanted to. Just rip a piece off like that and make it look old and raggedy. And then I'll come back with my good old sponge and just kind of darken off these edges. And it ends up being like this. It's kind of cute. I like it. And then you would adhere it onto your tag. Now I didn't push the hole through here, through both, so I will do that now. And I'm going to do it backwards so I can do it in the same hole, like this. Okay, so now I have this, but let's use a little bit of wire since I got it out. I'm going to use again my Tim Holtz scissors. I like these. If you can ever invest in a pair, it's a good investment, I think. Not to push Tim Horton. Again, I'm Canadian. To push the Tim Holtz, it's just that they self-sharpen. They've got like a ridge on the side, so they sharpen themselves. And you know, I can use them on metal. Like I've used them on just about everything that's hard to cut, and I didn't want to bend the blades on my scissors. That's what I use. So this is a little bit of chicken wire, so I'm going to kind of soften off the edges here because it is wire, and I don't want it to be caught in anything per se. And I think I'm going to add this right across. This is not doing so well on the screen here. Let me see if I can figure this one out. Maybe I'll add a bit of tissue too, just because I can. So I'm going to first of all add some glue. Now I'm going to use the E6000 because it is metal. I could use a Fabri-Tac, but I don't know how well it would adhere, to be truthful. So I'm just going to kind of splatter it like that because I don't necessarily need it to be downright flat on my card here, card base. So I'm just going to adhere it there, and then I'm going to add some of that netting like this. I'm going to grab my card, guys. I'm just going to pin it a bit this way so we can hold on to that like this and like this. And it's going to take a bit to adhere here. And then I'm going to take my, I think I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac for my next one, and I'm just going to add it on to my tag here. Just because I know it'll adhere better. And I'm going to lay it down, not where the hole is, but like so. Now I want this to stay this way, so I'm going to take a couple of my good old tags. Here's my big one. I have a big one somewhere. And I'm just going to lay them on top like this. And that will, my friends, keep it snug so it will adhere. It's fun to kind of work off the cuff like that, I find, because it really forces you to become more creative, to fill in the spots instead of, and I always try to start with, I'm making a tag. There. That's the start. That's about as much as a start as I have. And I like that, it leaves my mind, gets my mind to think outside the box sometimes, and I just find that it's nice. I'm very seldom am I disappointed at the end, because as you know, crafts, it doesn't matter what you do in crafts, it can be fixed, right? Now, kind of like this skeleton. What if I fussy cut this out? What if I fussy cut this out? We all know what fussy cutting is. And, am I going to go to the bird? I think so. I'm just going to, this might be one too many, but let me see. That bird looks so creepy. When I was a kid, that would have stopped me from sleeping. It is kind of weird. Weird and wonderful. And I always, not necessarily follow right to the line. I leave some white space in between my cuts. Fussy cutting is not something I'm very good at, following the lines either, but I do it. I'll do it as long as I can. Yeah, I kind of like that. And that's in the background, I like that. So what I'm going to do with this, I just got to, whoops, I shouldn't say that. We call that a brain fart. I think I can say that. Can I? Is that okay on camera? It means nothing more than a gesture, as in I got an idea. We have sayings, eh? You guys all know that? Okay, so all I did was edge the sides of the paper because it is white, and I don't like that white. I'm going to put some dimensions on this, and like that. And I'm going to add this on the edge here. What do you think, or should I add? No, I like it here. I'm going to, like that. Yep. I like it just like that. And now, because the bat is in the back, I'm going to highlight him, which you probably think, well, why would you highlight the back? Why would you not do the front? I'm going to use some crackle again. It's because he's so much lighter than the bird. And another thing that I could do too is I could take out my good old gelatos marker there, the gelatos, or something of that sort, and I could darken that bird, but I don't like that because I do like the cracks that are all in there. I find that it's a nice feature, and the bat is just coming off of some of those leaves, so I kind of like that. It gives it some character. Character is good. Character is good because character will define sometime a theme, character, that's the character. This is Halloween, it's a bat kind of deal. Like that. And I think I'm going to do the skull again, but I'm going to do it with crackle this time, not with clear. And all this crackle and accent and stuff like that. You can find that pretty much at all your craft store, local craft store, or online. I usually go through quite a bit of these, and I'll buy it whenever I go through and I see a sale, like the Mod Podge for the dimensional Mod Podge. I got those for $2.99 on sale. Like these guys here are like $6-7. You know, although it goes a long ways. You know, so unless you use it, it's like a laminate kind of finish, but a resin kind of finish in a sense. It's not resin, but you know, but I kind of like it. I always have some like this here, $2.99. I mean, wow. It's got sparkles in it, but I can use it to do something else. And this one here with the crackle was the same thing. I got that one on sale too. Yep, I like that. I don't know if I should do the birds. What do you think? Should I do the bird? Should I bother to do the bird? Is it something you think would need some polishing up? I'm not sure either, guys. Not too sure. Not too sure. Let me see here what I have this here that I don't know if I could use. Not too sure. What do you think? Do you think I should use some bling, or should I bother? Should I bother with some bling, or should I not? I have, oh, I know what could look really good with that. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it real quick so we can use it. I'm going to put a piece of a clock. A clock is always something that is kind of eerie in one way. Let me see if I can find a silver one. Now, some of these watches, you might think, oh my gosh, you got a lot of watches. I'll tell you, some of these are parts of watches. Any watch that I can put my hands on that's no longer good, that's what I do. I take them out, take them apart, and that's what I do. Now, I do have some bought, for sure, but yeah, I like that. I find it's steampunk maybe in a way, but I personally like it anyway. I guess. So I'm going to put, I think it's metal, so I think I'm going to add some E6000. And guys, I think we are done. One piece of rope on there, and I believe we will be totally done. Does it need a center? I'm just thinking maybe a tool or something. A piece of a wheel or something maybe? What do you guys think? Let me see. A piece of a tool. Where is my little... I end up having some... Now you can find some of these on the Canada Swap Shop, the Craft and Swap Shop. That is in that Sandy has in British Columbia. And some of these, she sells these, amongst many other things. I use a lot of her supplies. I find her delivery quick. And I live on the other end of the country, and I still get it sometimes in a week, like most cases in a week. So I kind of like that idea. So all I'm going to do here is add a little wheel in the center, like that. I like that. And we're going to add a piece of ribbon in here, like this. You know, another thing you could do to make it kind of funky too is you could staple it. Just like this. Hold on. Instead of putting it in the hole, you could use a stapler and just, you know, staple it in an X. I've never done it in an X, but hey, It is like that. And there you have it, guys. These are the 2 cards that are finished. All I'm going to have to do is let them dry. And you have yourself 2 really cute, simple, cute Halloween cards. I don't know if you can see that close up. Let's see. I know this one here with the glare. Can you see that? I absolutely love it. The only thing I'm going to need to do is paint the back. I didn't do the back. I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial on how to make some tags. You could add more to this or add less. That's entirely up to you. But for now, we're going to leave it like that. And I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been fun. This is Yvonne. And as a close-up here, as much as I can. I hope you've enjoyed this. I sure did. This is Yvonne, and I'm signing off. Have yourself a creative day, and we will see you real soon.